are the issues that really matter. Those personal finances and economic issues are probably what are going to motivate some of these late breaking, maybe undecided voters to choose Trump.
And while that was going on at Madison Square Garden, I got to tell you, I did not think about Nazi rallies or anything that the left said what happened at Madison Square Garden, which, by the way, the Nazi rally in 1939, that was not the Madison Square Garden of today, right? This is like the fourth different Madison Square Garden at 33rd and 8th Street. But I was just trying to go through my head on all the reasons and all the things that I've seen at Madison Square Garden. Obviously, a ton of concerts, David Bowie, Queen a bunch of times, Rod Stewart, a ton of people. I also saw Bruno Sammartino defend his heavyweight belt in wrestling at Madison Square Garden. Knicks games, Rangers games, college hoops. That's what Madison Square Garden stands for, not Nazi rallies.
Oh, right. Well, I'm assuming you're referring to the fact that MSNBC prominently displayed this on the Chiron on its network as it was discussing the event yesterday. I mean, this is just absurd and obnoxious. It just goes to show the pettiness of so many of these people who occupy these positions of power. Today I am featuring an interview with Scott Rasmussen of RMG Research on the Daily Signal, and he talks about how these elite 1% who are so obsessed with politics and think that their socialist worldview is the solution, that they will do anything in their power to demean Donald Trump. And I don't think that is necessarily resonating with the American people. They have endured about 9 to 10 years of this ever since Donald Trump descended on that escalator at Trump Tower. And as was elegantly pointed out by Joe Rogan in his 3-hour interview with Donald Trump, these are the very same people, Vic, who were praising Trump, welcoming him on to shows like The View, Oprah Winfrey Show, and they immediately flipped. As soon as he took a different position politically than they have, they've been out to get him ever since.
And let's talk about that Joe Rogan interview. 3 hours. Kamala couldn't last 3 minutes with Joe Rogan.
Well, and that's, I think, why they're blaming scheduling difficulties as to the reason that she can't make it work. I mean, clearly she could carve out 3 hours to sit down with Joe Rogan. And frankly, it could be a game changer for her. If she were to go on to Joe Rogan and make an articulate argument to his audience, and I haven't looked this morning, but when I did last night, it was well over 30 million people had watched that interview just on YouTube, not even the other platforms that Joe Rogan distributes his show on. I think Kamala Harris could potentially do that. But based on what we've seen over the last few weeks as she's done this media blitz, if you will, I think that it's convinced more Americans that she's not prepared to be president. And that's why you're seeing in the Real Clear polling averages that Donald Trump holds the lead in all 7 swing states. He's up nationally. Things are trending in his direction. So the more that she talks, the more that she attacks him, I think the American people see through it.
Yeah, no doubt. And let me tell you, if she does decide to go on Joe Rogan, or if she even is planning to decide, Joe Rogan is not going to stand for any demands from the Kamala campaign. He doesn't have to. You want to come on? No rules. We just sit and we talk for 3 hours. And if you can't handle that, well, then let's just call it off.
Vic, the thing that was so great about the interview is the authenticity. And we've been talking about this, it seems like for months, if not years. And this is a factor that other politicians just cannot replicate. I think Ron DeSantis struggled with this in the primary, in particular. I mean, everybody in the political class gave him a lot of attention. But then when you actually, saw him interacting with voters, he just didn't have that same ability that Trump does. And so this is what Kamala Harris is up against. You have one of the, potentially fakest, candidates in our time, who has not really faced the voters, didn't, win a single vote to get the nomination. And here she's going up against, this natural celebrity who has, a lot of charisma. And you saw that come through in the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump, where he could talk about a range of issues, maybe some that would make some politicians uncomfortable, and just Trump dispenses of them with ease.
We're talking to Rob Bluey, president and executive editor of the Daily Signal. Madison Square Garden, I don't think, wanted this rally. Some people in New York didn't want this rally because they hate Trump. So when you see videos sometimes, and it says, oh, look at all these people walking out of the Trump rally. As soon as you started talking, they couldn't take it. Well, guess what? Here's why.
Okay, guys, something that's probably not going to be reported, let's report it right now. All these concession stands, all of them, right now, they're closed. You have people that are starving, you have people that are thirsty, and what we are being told is the reason why these concession stands are closed is because they want people in their seats right now. However, we're being told that once Donald Trump takes the stage, the concession stands are going to open. Make that make sense. So you're going to starve people and you're going to make them so thirsty that the only option that they have to get up and get something to eat and quench their thirst is when Donald Trump is up on stage. Sorry, I'm calling bullshit right now. You're doing it to get your footage and make it seem like people are leaving his rally. It also should be known that we're being told from inside the garden they are believing the Trump campaign. It's their orders.
How about that?
Yes, it's it's not surprising that you may have some bad actors there in New York City. Vic, when you were going through and listing some of the momentous occasions at MSG in your own life, I was there for the 2004 Republican National Convention, and I remember, that was another period of time where clearly the people of New York and some of the people who operated MSG probably did not want George W. Bush there. So it comes as no surprise that there may be some shenanigans taking place at the Trump rally. Look, people have lives; they have things to do. Yes, there's going to be people who leave a rally early, just like you leave a sporting event early or before the game is over. I wouldn't attribute it to a whole lot. At least Donald Trump is out there holding rallies with tens of thousands of people. I mean, who could command that type of an audience and day-long coverage on all of the news networks? Not very many people, I mind you.
Yeah, they're just terrible people. They really are. And because I've seen videos on Twitter. Look at all these people leaving the Trump rally. Oh, they wanted a hot dog. Or they wanted something to drink. Or they had to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? All right. Listen, Rob, always great to have you. When we speak again, sir, it'll be the day before Election Day, our most important conversation since we've known each other.
That's certainly right, Vic. And as somebody who has already voted, I will be well prepared for that conversation next week. I look forward to talking to you then.
And
Thanks,
I vote today. I vote today, Rob.
Well, I encourage people, and I've made this point, this is one of the big differentiating factors in 2024 is the fact that Republicans are voting early. And you see that in some of the swing states.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, Rob Bluey, executive editor and president of the Daily Signal. Awesome to talk to you every Monday. And 8 days, Ken.
8 days.
8 days. And Election Day night, we'll have all the coverage you need. We'll be your number one source for information regarding the 2024 election, including live election night coverage, bringing you all the breaking news that happens. Tony Colombo will be anchoring that. I'll be sitting here getting them coffee and stuff. And all of our great cast here at NewstalkSTL will be at different locations checking in.
Whoosh.
During the whole night. Before, during, and after Election Day, NewstalkSTL, your one-stop spot for America Decides 2024.
Whoosh.
Election night coverage brought to you by Harry J's Steakhouse and DJ Firearms in Bowling Green on NewstalkSTL.
Whoosh.
You're number one for live and local conservative talk. Kenny, you're the best.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. This is the real Kamala Harris.
This business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
The real Kamala Harris on the Vic Porcelli Show on NewstalkSTL.
Hey,
Thank you very much for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Yes, I just want you to know what a breath of fresh air you people are.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Tim Jones here for my favorite St. Louis Sports Bar and Grill experience, the go-to spot of Johnny's Hideout. Johnny's Hideout featuring over 40 big screen TVs to watch all the great games this college and NFL season. Awesome food specials every single day that I absolutely love. Bike nights, classic cars on Wednesdays, live music every weekend, and a fantastic time to visit the gorgeous Sunset Patio. Located just 10 minutes from 270 in Gravois, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. onwards. All the information you need to know at jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting, soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
You know what's going on?
Have a great awakening.
You see through the smoke screen.
It's cool to be woke. News Talk STL. Until it's not. News, analysis, opinion. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Whoosh.
Hey y'all, this is Killer Bees, world famous comedian, part-time swimsuit model. You are listening to my brand new best friend in the world, Vic Porcelli.
Is that it?
Yeah.
He's got two of them.
Yeah, he does.
With election day 8 days away, I talked to somebody yesterday who said, "Did you vote yet?" I said, "No, I didn't yet, but I will." This person had every single judge. She had notes and information and research on every single judge that'll be on the ballot. I was so impressed with her.
Love that.
So do that too. Go see our sample ballot. It's at newstalkstl.com. Everything is there. And because you got to know what, let me tell you, you got to know what's going on before you get there, or you're going to be there for 5 hours trying to figure out the ballot.
Yeah.
Right.
And we do have a really, thanks to Teresa, we have a very comprehensive judges page.
And where is that? That's at
News Talk STL. Okay. I think it's /judges or something like that, but you'll find it.
All right. Okay. Rest of the way today, very, very busy day. You know, polling. I hate polling, Ken. If polling were eliminated, I'd be okay with that. But Doug Blair from Harris X Polling will be with us at 9:41 today, and then we'll talk to him again one day before Election Day, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Even though Donald Trump beat all the odds in 2016, right? He had a 98% chance of losing that election. And
well, let's be accurate. 93% chance.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and a 7% chance of winning. That's right. What they were. That's what they were promoting.
And he won. So what good was the polling then? who knows how good it is now?
Well, Vic, they want you to forget that. Those people in that mainstream legacy Pfizer media, yeah, they want you to forget all that.
Yep. So Doug Blair talked to us at 10:41. Karen Kataline, we'll talk to her about the worst Nazi rally ever yesterday at Madison Square Garden. Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFACT at 9:41. And right now it's time for everybody's favorite game show. That's crap.
Welcome to That's Crap. It's the game where we find out if it's the truth or if that's crap. Here's the host of That's Crap, Vic Porcelli.
If you're not watching the stream, you're missing out, I'm telling you. Hey, ladies in the studio audience, how are you? Thanks for coming in.
A lot of MAGA caps there.
What'd you say?
A lot of MAGA caps there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And again, ladies, if you're going to wear the MAGA cap, put your hair in a ponytail, put the ponytail through the hole in the back of the cap. God, love that.
It's great.
Okay. So our contestant today is, somebody who has lied about some of the most important disasters that have happened in American history. She was the she was the National Security Advisor. And when she was National Security Advisor, Ken, this is a little side game, okay? That's crap's our main game. This is our side game. Guess who her deputy National Security Advisor was? Antony Blinken. How about that?
Yeah, Susan Rice is, I believe, one of the architects behind what's going on right now.
And with Obama, Benghazi, I mean, we all know about Benghazi.
Yeah.
And, everybody lied about it. Hillary lied about it. But she lied about it the most when she said Benghazi happened because of a video that was on the internet making fun of Muhammad, and then that wasn't the reason.
And then let's be clear, like they are always clear. Let's be clear that video they knew was fake from the very beginning.
And just coincidence it happened on September 11th? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
So, Susan, good luck. You don't tell the truth a lot. I don't know how you're going to do this. Ken, put a minute on the clock. Susan Rice, good luck.
They're terrified of, effective, smart, strong women and leaders in the United States. Secondly, they embrace and laud and praise dictators like Xi and Putin, with whom they want to become closer when they are our most formidable adversaries. These people are dangerous. Donald Trump hugs dictators. He's about to have a rally reminiscent of 1939, cheering on Nazi Germany. The people who've spoken in that rally already have been a litany of attacks on Black voters, on Latino voters, on Arab American voters. I mean, that's the divisive, dark, evil threat that Donald Trump poses, all encapsulated right there at Madison Square Garden. I think it's all about rallying a hateful, retro America First, which in the time of 1939, that was an America First rally. This is about recalling a time when, white supremacy and affinity for Nazism was paramount.
Does she realize that back in the 1920s, they had this thing called the Democrat National Convention, and they called it the Klan Bake because they invented the KKK against Black people. So I just want to throw that out there.
I didn't see anything about Black people except welcoming them to the party and welcoming them to be part of this whole MAGA movement.
I saw a lot of hugging, man, between Black and white people. I mean, I know that they don't like that, but I'm just telling you.
Now, she said it in her thing, and then we're going to talk to our judge here in a second to see if she's telling the truth or if that's crap. But I would just like to throw in first. She said, he likes dictators, and he likes to get closer to people like Putin and Kim Jong-un. Okay, so Putin and Kim Jong-un are our enemies, yes, right? We have friends, and we have enemies. Did she forget the Michael Corleone rule about friends and enemies?
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
That's a rule that Donald Trump lives by.
A mafia rule is smarter than Susan Rice.
Yeah.
That's what that basically comes down to.
And I think they know this stuff. They're just trying that they have that propaganda machine rolling. And Vic, this morning, I want to mention today's show was disgraceful. We give them little points whenever they do something well.
When is that?
like last week, one day we said, they did okay with that.
Yeah.
But it was disgusting this morning. Because they're in full blown right now. They know that they've only got 8 days. So they've got they're not hiding it anymore. Right. Everything about Trump was about this stupid comedian that made this remark about
stupid joke. It was a stupid joke.
Yeah. Stupid joke. When everything else that they could have been talking about would have been really good for the campaign, but no, they weren't going to do that.
So she said that he's a dictator, he's a Nazi, he's Hitler. Our judge is somebody who knows more than Kamala, more than Barack Obama, more than Susan Rice about dictators and Nazis and Hitler. He's a Holocaust survivor. His name is Jerry Wartsky. Jerry, was Susan Rice telling the truth, or is that crap?
My name is Jerry Wartsky. I'm 94 years old and survivor of Auschwitz and the death marches. Adolf Hitler invaded Poland when I was 9 years old. He murdered my parents and most of our family. I know more about Hitler than Kamala will ever know in 1,000 lifetimes. For her to accuse President Trump of being like Hitler is the worst thing I've ever heard in my 75 years living in the United States. I know President Trump, and he would never say this, and Kamala Harris knows this. She owes my parents and everybody else who was murdered by Hitler an apology for repeating this lie.
Why should the Jewish people support President Trump?
Because he's a mensch. I believe that President Trump is definitely going to be good for Israel, because in everything that he's done up to now was in favor.
Wow. We got to play that for Karen because he's a mensch.
Because he's a mensch.
So there you go. Sorry, Susan Rice, but that's crap. Stupid Susan Rice is stupid. She's stupid.
She is stupid.
It's cool to be stupid. You're stupid.
I don't give
So we had a little conversation about Susan Rice and everybody. So I guess that's all the time we have for That's Crap. Am I right?
This is Jim Modulin speaking for That's Crap, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman radio production.
Thank you, Jim Modulin. This is Vic Porcelli saying help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. You know, speaking of pets, a lot of people ask me about Phantom, our dog.
Yeah.
15-year-old Newfoundland Standard Poodle mix. He has outlived his life expectancy already, but I'm telling you, Ken, his legs can hardly hold him up. He's eating, though. There's no reason to put him down right now. You know, he can't see so good. He doesn't hear so good. But, when I scratch his cheeks, he really likes it.
I've had to put 3 dogs down, take them up, and a cat. And my criteria is simple. If they're not in pain, then keep them fed and comfortable as possible. But if they're in pain, you got to take them.
And we give them the hemp glucosamine treats.
Yeah, that's great.
Once a day to help them out. So anyway, I just wanted to update everybody. Everybody asks about Handsome Phantom of the Opera. Okay, when we get back, we're going to talk to Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFACT on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. This is the real Kamala Harris.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
The real Kamala Harris on the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Okay, let's talk about what nobody likes to talk about. And I can't understand why, okay? It's fun, right? It's fantasy. It's you and your husband or you and your wife having fun that only you two have together, right? And you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Johns knows what I'm talking about. But the reason I said that is because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable about walking into a shop that has all the things that we mentioned, novelties, lingerie, videos, and they will make you feel comfortable. The people who work there certainly are not uncomfortable for working there, and they know that you want to be comfortable when you walk in to talk about sexy time. You know, it's Dr. John's in 3 different locations: Fenton, Farmington, and Wood River, Illinois. Full assortment of male and female enhancement supplies, guys. You know, you get to your age and our age, and it's not so easy anymore. So if you're looking for that, something out of the ordinary, Dr. John's always has you covered. And if you drop on in there and go in as a couple, or, you know, guys, you can go in there, girls, you can go in there too, and find something as a little kind of fantasy surprise, okay? Make an appointment to see the doctor with Dr. John's, Fenton, Farmington, and Wood River, Illinois, and tell them News Talk STL sent you.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Monday, what new chaos and crises did Kamala Harris cause over the weekend? Senator Jim Talent joins us at 4:25, 5:25. Red State Headlines with Susie Moore.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Tony Colombo inviting you to join my band along with Somebody to Love, tribute to Queen, for an awesome night of music Saturday, November 30th at Diamond Music Hall. Join us as we kick off the season of holiday cheer with my band, Tony Colombo and the North County Sound Machine, featuring Katie Fitzpatrick, a tribute to Duran Duran, and Somebody to Love, a tribute to Queen. Support live local music and join us for a great party Saturday, November 30th at Diamond Music Hall. Brought to you by Weber Chevrolet. Get your tickets now at diamondmusichall.com.
Nate Lucas here for the Village Bar in the heart of Des Peres. Since 1948, the Village Bar has been the go-to destination for delicious food, cold drinks, and unbeatable atmosphere. Savor their famous wings, burgers, and onion rings, or grab a drink from their fully stocked bar. Catch all the big games and enjoy the company of their friendly staff. Plus, don't miss the 1879 Distillery, a one-of-a-kind experience right next door. The Village Bar offers the best value in town. Find the Village Bar on Facebook and come experience where history meets great times. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Over $1.3 billion. Trump just talks the talk. We walk the walk.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Rolling Stones, Can't You Hear Me Knocking from Sticky Fingers. Rolling Stones, add them to the list of people I've seen at Madison Square Garden. Paul McCartney and Wings, Elton John, Rod Stewart, Queen, 5 different times.
Okay, Forrest Gump of music.
Hey, it was 20 minutes from my house. What am I going to do? Not take advantage of that?
Right.
Keith Richards and the New Barbarians at Madison Square Garden. I have never been to a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden.
Never, not once?
That's
sure?
I'm pretty sure I've never been to a Nazi rally.
Huh.
All right, let's talk to our great friend, Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFACT. Good morning, Dr. Cohen. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, and I hope you are too.
Now that we get your voice going, you bet. All right. So we talk all the time. Some of the conversations that you and I have come back in my head sometimes. And one we had was about, and this is not what the story's about, but it just made me think of it. When we used to want to save the whales, right? Save the whales, save the whales. All the hippies were out there, save the whales. And then they put the wind tunnels out there, which were killing the whales. And they're like, screw the whales, screw the whales.
Screw the whales. Yeah, who needs them?
So now their solar plan is clashing with endangered animals, right?
Yeah, that's right. The Biden administration has rolled out a big solar plan that they want to impose on the enormous amount of federal land under the management, some would say mismanagement, of the Bureau of Land Management. These aren't national park lands or wilderness areas. This is just a bunch of land that the federal government owns west of the Mississippi River. The problem with putting up a wind, but in this case, solar panels, and we're not talking about a couple of things up on a roof somewhere. We're talking about tens of thousands of solar panels, is that they conflict with the habitat of endangered species, such as the sage grouse, which is a small flightless bird that is extremely sensitive to everything around it and whose numbers have been declining. Off and on, there have been variations up and down, but on a general decline for several decades. And also in desert areas, also controlled by the Bureau of Land Management, those giant solar arrays conflict with the habitat of the endangered desert tortoise. So on the one hand, we're supposed to save the planet as a whole, and then we're also supposed to save certain species, unless, of course, those species conflict with saving the planet from climate change, in other words, renewable energy, in which case the species can be dispatched, shove the whole thing under the rug, and let's move on with taxpayer subsidized solar arrays and, where necessary, wind turbines. So the whole thing is an enormous amount of hypocrisy. No one should believe a word of it. These species are nothing but a means to an end, just as the whole climate agenda itself is a means to an end. To those eager to impose their will on us and make decisions for us on how we heat our homes, what kind of cars we drive, everything else, the climate issue is the keys to the kingdom, because you can justify any regulatory step you want to take by saying, we're doing this for the climate. But it turns out, of course, all they're really interested in doing is adding to their already considerable amount of power over the rest of us.
Now, weren't the hippies, right, and the tree huggers and the left concerned so much with endangered species all these years, and now they just don't care? I'm so confused.
Yes, and of course the way they handle that is obfuscation. Well, we're working on it. We're really concerned about various species, but after all, we have to get on with the far more important business of saving the planet from man-made global warming. So what they've done is they've completely jiggled their priorities, unless, of course, they want to use an endangered species to block oil and gas exploration. Then all of a sudden, the species becomes all important. But if the self-same species stands in the way of a giant solar array somewhere or a giant wind farm, then the species can be dispatched without any further ado. That's really what you're looking at here. It's selective enforcement of the Endangered Species Act.
So their message is confusing to me, Dr. Cohen, because they want us to use solar energy to use less electricity, but yet let's use electric cars and use a bunch of electricity. I just don't get the message.
That's right. What they refuse to come to terms with is that their demands to electrify our whole economy, everything from doing away with gas stoves to doing away with gas heaters and to doing away with gasoline-powered vehicles, all of those things, and God knows what else, ought to be replaced by electricity. Question, where is the electricity coming from if you are absolutely determined and are actively pursuing shutting down not just coal-fired power plants around the country, but also natural gas-fired power plants, and by doing so, replacing those with wind turbines and solar panels? As someone has put it, you can't run a full-time economy on part-time energy. And wind and solar are part-time energy.
Right.
So try to transition the whole country in one big waving of the regulatory wand and electrify everything, while at the same time you reduce the amount of electricity made available to both residential and commercial customers. So does it make any sense? No, absolutely none, whatever.
No, the left doesn't usually make sense at all. We're talking about Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFACT. And another thing about the electric vehicles problem in the future of EVs are these rising battery fires that they didn't tell us was going to happen when they rolled it out.
That's right. A little neglect on their side. I would say it's more of a sin. Oh, well, it's a combination of sin of omission. They didn't tell us, but also commission because they had to know this was going to be a problem. The EV that you may or may not drive, it doesn't have one battery in it. It has a battery pack. You have a whole bunch of them. And sometimes these things explode. And when you have a battery-generated fire in an EV, this isn't your customary fire because gasoline-powered vehicles can erupt in flames if they're in an accident of some sort. It can happen. With battery-fired propelled automobiles, those fires are gigantic. They are conflagrations. It takes at least 10 times as much water to put them out. And even a relatively small collision, a fender bender, a fender bender can become the end of your EV because it will break out in flames, and it will stand a very good chance of being a total loss. So all the money that you sank into it goes out the window, and you are stuck with a piece of junk on your hands that you can't unload. Did they tell us about this when they said we were going to have a transition to green energy? We would all be driving around in low emissions vehicles. Well, when an EV is going up in flames, believe me, there are emissions. They may not be greenhouse emissions, but these are emissions of a bunch of things going into the air, which, believe me, you do not want to breathe.
Dr. Cohen, they have such a lock on this lying, though. It's hard to get the real answers out to the public because they've just been pounding it home with the help of the legacy media, and we'll never get the straight answer. And you know what? I wish when Donald Trump gets elected, I wish I could be invited. I'm going to ask Donald Trump if I can be invited to the Oval Office to watch the firing of Jennifer Granholm, the Energy Secretary.
Jennifer Granholm is very typical of someone serving in the administration overseeing our energy policies. She has absolutely no background in or understanding of energy. Zero. None. I think we all remember when Jennifer decided to show how viable EVs were. A couple of years ago, she got into one in North Carolina and headed west for a 300 or 400 mile trip. Well, long story short, she never really got there. Why? Because there were no charging stations along the route. There were a couple, but they were out of order. And so she was saved from her little misadventure by other Department of Energy officials who were following her in gasoline-powered vehicles, and they were able to come to her rescue. But if you have people like this who have no clue what they're doing in charge of decisions and overseeing the green energy transition when she has no grasp of energy whatsoever and does not understand the practical problems that ensue when you impose an agenda like this, you are asking for trouble. So if Jennifer departs the government on January 20th, we will all be better off for it, believe me.
And she can go back to Canada where she came from. I was this year's old when I realized she was born in Canada.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFACT. Tell us a little bit about CFACT, how we can find out more about that, about you, all that great stuff.
Okay, if you're interested in what we've talked about this morning and need more information, believe me, we have all your little heart desires. So check us out on our website, which is CFACT.org, and we regularly post articles there every day and become an informed citizen.
Well, Dr. Cohen, we love talking to you, and we'll talk again next week. I guess the day before Election Day. We talked to him the day before.
That's right.
Yeah.
November the 4th.
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right, Dr. Cohen, thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you.
You don't know how bad I want to hear him say, you're listening to Vic Porcelli and Ken Williams. They're great.
We have to remember to call him when we're in that production room,
Yes,
and
we
we can
do.
record it.
Yes, we do. Okay. Wouldn't you love to be in the room when Jennifer Granholm?
I think that's a great idea. We need to contact. Said, I know, President Trump, I know you haven't had time to come on the show,
but we know you listen.
We know you listen, but there's a way that you can reconcile this whole thing.
That's right. We'll call everything square if we can Kenny and I can just sit there in the Oval Office when you say, Jennifer, you're fired. Okay, so one quick thing, Ken.
Yeah, Vic.
And I guess, so spoiler alerts. I know in movies and TV, it's something. Is spoiler alert a thing when you're talking about trials in the justice system?
Should, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
It shouldn't be.
Okay.
I mean, it's not,
I mean, it's in the news, right?
Right.
So Friday we talked about, and I think I piqued Susie Moore's interest with the suitcase murder.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah Boone. That trial is now over.
Okay.
And she was found guilty of murder in the second degree, and she might spend the rest of her life in jail. Ken, I got to tell you, this is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen before. I'd like to go back in history and find out how many people in history were killed being locked in a suitcase.
Yeah. Then the whole rigor mortis thing got to me. That because once that sets in, that person's the shape of the suitcase, basically.
So she didn't take him out and do CPR.
No,
because you're right, all rigor mortis into the fetal position. And the judge, I was so impressed with the judge. His name was Cranick, Judge Cranick, appointed by Ron DeSantis, by the way. And this guy treated Sarah Boone like a queen. I mean, are you happy with your defense? Are you happy with the strategy that your defense team is doing? You know why? So it rules out any appeal.
Yeah.
Because she was happy. Every time he asked her, she said, yep, I'm happy.
Good.
And
you'd think your lawyers would say, hey, don't say you're so happy.
or at least brief her in something.
Something, yeah.
So during the closing arguments, one of the prosecutors, by the way, my wife's in it for the comments, everything for the comments. That's some of the funniest parts of any story. Or the comments from people.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody said, is the prosecutor wearing a Homer Simpson tie? And I looked and I was like, oh my God, that looks like Homer Simpson's eyes. It wasn't. It was like a cartoon, though, of two ducks or geese or something like that with crazy in court. Is that what you wear to court? It doesn't matter. He won. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he started to make an analogy of what is lethal force and how close you have to be to that person to commit lethal force. And he brought up Darth Vader as, when he would do the death grip from somebody across the room.
Right.
And when he started talking about it, Judge Cranick was trying to hold back a smile. He was right and make him believe he's right. And he's got this smile on his face because he knew it was going to be a great closing argument. And it was. So, there you go. Spoiler alert. Sarah Boone, convicted of murder. It captivated me, Ken. It really did. We watched it every night. We didn't watch any TV. We didn't watch any TV for 4 or 5 days in a row. All we do is watch this Sarah Boone case. All right, we'll be right back with Karen Kataline, our favorite Jew. We got to play him. We got to play her. That Mensch guy on News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
Ready to explore the underwater world? Great American Divers, your veteran-owned local scuba center, is making waves with incredible offers. Get $50 off any new open water course when you mention NewstalkSTL. And mark your calendars. November 8th and 9th is our massive fall sale. Everything in store on sale plus our huge swap and sale event for quality used gear. Daddy certification, equipment repairs, we got it all. Our experienced staff is passionate about teaching, and we're the only center in the area with our own indoor heated pool. Visit GreatAmericanDivers.com today. Great American Divers, where adventure runs deep.
On December 19th, gather with the people who keep us safe. The David Dorn Foundation invites you to Cheers and Charity Christmas Happy Hour at Toy Drive. If you have a heart for our heroes, join us for just $20. Enjoy a festive evening of food and fun. Kids under 12 are free. Bring a toy or gift card for first responder families in need. Santa will be there for photos with the little ones and the big ones too. All the proceeds help our heroes. For details, visit dornfoundation.com.
Katie here. When it comes to your home's comfort, you don't need gimmicks, you need guarantees. At Elite Comfort Experts, we're your hometown comfort heroes. No flashy deals, just reliable service you can count on every time. From tune-ups to total system replacements, we're here to keep your family comfortable year-round. No nonsense, just expert care because your home deserves the best. Call Elite Comfort Experts today, where hometown service meets real results. Elite Comfort Experts, St. Charles' trusted hometown comfort heroes. Call Elite at 636-887-0971.
Hi, Chris Arps here. Join me and the team at Royal Banks of Missouri for their annual Economic Forecast Breakfast. The event takes place on Tuesday, November 19th at the Factory in the District in the Chesterfield Valley. You'll hear from their experts and get a better understanding of what to expect from the U.S. economy in 2025 and beyond. Doors open at 7:30 a.m. and the program starts at 8 a.m. Attendance is free, but you do need to reserve a spot. You can RSVP by sending an email to emails@royalbanksnet.com or by calling 314-212-1545.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Appealing to the highest court in the land, the state of Virginia asking the U.S. Supreme Court to allow the state to remove roughly 1,600 non-citizens from its voter rolls. Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin ordered the purge of the rolls, but later a federal appeals court said can't do that, ordering the registrations restored. In his rally at Madison Square Garden in New York, former President Trump borrowing a page from the Reagan campaign playbook.
And I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
White House correspondent Greg Clugston in New York.
Guest speakers ranged from vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance to former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan.
This is Donald Trump's house, brother.
Members of Congress also showed up, including Representative Byron Donalds of Florida.
We're going to have common sense in America again under Donald Trump. We're going to get men out of women's sports under Donald Trump.
Throughout the rally, speakers repeatedly criticized Kamala Harris and predicted a Trump victory on Election Day. Greg Clugston, New York.
And Democrat standard bearer Harris appealing to her base in Philadelphia.
And hard work is good work, as we know. We are going to win. We are going to win.
We are going to win, says Harris, sounding upbeat despite polls showing the race trending in former President Trump's favor. NATO says it is true, says that North Korean troops are on the ground fighting alongside Russian soldiers in Ukraine. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 304 points, the Nasdaq ahead 95, and the S&P trading 24 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. It's going to be warmer with a high of 78. Decreasing clouds tonight will drop to 67. For Tuesday, sunny and warm with a high of 85. The record high for the day is 86. It's going to be breezy as well with wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. We'll see a near repeat for Wednesday, mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 83. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
You bet. 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Don't forget our election coverage 1 week from tomorrow night. Holy cow, man. I'll tell you what. I'm getting... Is nervouser a word? Nervouser and more nervouser? Is that a word?
Sure.
Thanks, Ken. I could say any damn thing. Yep, you're right, Vic. Absolutely right.
You nailed it, Vic.
But our election coverage will be Tuesday night, I guess about 7 o'clock. And Tony Colombo, there's nobody better at this stuff than him. And I'll just get Tony coffee and see what I can do for him throughout the night. Local races, national races, the entire News Talk STL team will be a part of it. We'll check in with everybody, including my buddy Ken Williams. Before, during, and after Election Day, News Talk STL, your one-stop shop for America Decides 2024. All brought to you by Harry J's Steakhouse and Senior Memorial Life. Let's go.
The one and only Karen Kataline.
Did you know that I'm married to a trucker? I feel like using a Yiddish word, famished. Spoiling in front of my computer, I am. They're just too dumb to lie. He has the effect of 6 shots of scotch.
Good morning, Karen Kataline. How are you?
Good morning, Vic Porcelli. How are you? I'm doing good.
So this rally yesterday at Madison Square Garden, worst Nazi rally ever. Israeli flags hanging from the mezzanine, Jews for Trump outside. Terrible Nazi rally, right?
Yeah. I'm just so over it. I'm so pissed. Can I say that?
Yes, of
course.
Pissed.
You did.
I say worse than that.
I didn't block it out.
Oh God.
Well, she is pissed.
Okay, I'll try to put some words together, but I'm just so over it.
Karen, sometimes when I get like that, I shake my hands really hard, and then I'm ready.
Part of me wishes that we would behave like Democrats do. They have phony righteous indignation because of something, and then they throw tantrums and they go crazy, and then ignorant people say, well, they must have a point or they wouldn't be so upset. What do? We say, oh, it's the worst Nazi rally ever. And because we have been enculturated not to be offended, we're not allowed to be offended about anything, no matter how offensive it is. And this is profoundly offensive in every way. And they get the entire, have you noticed? Okay, here I go.
Go, baby, go.
Have you noticed the way Hillary is always the person with the flag setting out the new false narrative, whether it's alt-right or, forever. She's always been the one who says something totally outrageously stupid with no basis in fact. And then, and she's been elected to say it. And then the entire propaganda media follows suit and repeats it over and over and over and over and over again until now the narrative is Trump said something Nazi-esque and that this must stop. The gaslighting, the lying, and the disrespect for what the Holocaust is and what happened and to smear a good and decent person who wants to save this country with smears like that. I've run out of adjectives about it. And it isn't just because I'm Jewish. I like to keep saying that. It is an affront to every decent person and plays on the most ignorant, moronic people in the world, and is an affront to good and smart and decent people. And yes, mockery is nice, but I'm ready to throw a tantrum, and I think it's totally justified. I don't know if it works. I don't know if that's the right way, but in this crazy ass world, can I say that?
Yes.
Too late.
The loudest, noisiest people throw tantrums about something that nobody knows what the tantrum is about. So I wish it's just not the conservative way. We just don't do it. But on something like this, for him to be called Hitler over and over and over again and all of that, it's just, you can't give a description. I mean, what are you going to say? Oh, that's beyond the pale. Oh, that's politically incorrect. No, it's despicable.
You know
I'm
what?
done.
You know what I think? I think
What?
you and Ken can handle this. I'm going to go home. You don't need me. You guys don't need me at all.
No, we need you. We need you.
Okay, all
Right
right.
now, you need me to settle
Absolutely.
down.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm just fishing for compliments is all I'm doing. So, one thing, my wife.
Because he's a mensch.
Did you hear that?
Who's a mensch?
Oh, you did hear it. Great. So that
I
was.
did hear it, yeah.
Because we were having a technical problem there. We didn't know if you could hear the other stuff besides my
Yeah.
lovely voice.
Lovely.
Okay, I guess we'll go here because you jumped the gun on me. I was going to get to that, but I wanted to say something else first.
Ken, Thunder Stealer.
That's what he does, Karen. He's a thunder stealer. So, Susan Rice was our contestant today in our little game show called That's Crap. And
All right.
we always give people a chance to tell the truth, or if that's crap. And liberals never quite tell the truth. And
Never.
so we played Susan Rice calling Trump a Nazi, and then we played this guy. His name is Jerry Wartsky. He, Karen, is a Holocaust survivor. Listen to what and he was in attendance at the Garden yesterday. Listen to what he says about Donald Trump.
My name is Jerry Wartsky. I'm 94 years old and survivor of Auschwitz and the Death Marches. Adolf Hitler invaded Poland when I was 9 years old. He murdered my parents and most of our family. I know more about Hitler than Kamala will ever know in 1,000 lifetimes. For her to accuse President Trump of being like Hitler is the worst thing I've ever heard in my 75 years living in the United States. I know President Trump, and he would never say this, and Kamala Harris knows this. She owes my parents and everybody else who was murdered by Hitler an apology for repeating this lie.
Why should the Jewish people support President Trump?
Because he's a mensch. I believe that President Trump is definitely going to be good for Israel, because in everything that he's done up to now was in favor.
I don't know if you heard the question. The guy said, "So what? Why would you tell Jewish people to vote for Trump?" Because he's a mensch.
I got it. All I can say is God love him.
Yep.
God love him for standing up. The outrage, the despicableness is they have no bottom. They have no bottom.
No.
At all. I mean, what do you say after that? Oh, and by the way, if this was, it's the exact opposite of the truth. But gee, the gullible, foolish morons in this world, and there's fewer of them, I think, they never ask the question. Gee, 10 days, 14 days before an election, they decide to do this full frontal assault to call him Hitler. If they were so damn worried about him being Hitler, they would have been pounding that for the last 8 years.
Yep.
No, they just trot it out whenever they think it'll help them, and they look so desperate. But desperate is not enough. This, I mean, they just need to be held accountable for this and so damn much more.
You sure you guys need me? I don't know if you need me.
I'm sorry.
We need you.
I don't know.
Bah.
I just want to mention you've reached your limit on cuss words, so now we're done.
Oh, I said damn too, man.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Don't you cuss on this here radio. So I want to
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Thank you, Bandit. So let's combine everything you said, right, with all these congressional and Senate hearings that we see, right, and all these people that we know are liars and who have lied to Congress, like Dr. Fauci and Clapper and Comey and all those guys. And my wife says, so now what happens? Nothing's going to happen. You know why? Because Republicans don't do anything. That's her big phrase this
Now,
month.
which forgive me, I may be out of the loop. Sometimes I'm out of the loop these days. Which hearing are you talking about? 'Cause
Anyone.
They've had so many.
Anyone. You pick.
Well, what hearing are they? Yeah.
I mean, no,
I don't even pay attention. 'Cause
there
they
was
don't
none
do anything.
specifically. It's just that we watch them a lot, and we watch a lot of courtroom stuff, like the Sarah Boone trial. I don't know if you know about the Sarah Boone trial. The guy who zipped her boyfriend in a suitcase and he died suffocated.
Oh, I did read that.
Yeah, we watched
did
every
read
second of that. Every single second of that trial we watched, and it was good because it kept us away from the mainstream media because that's all.
Oh, I'm telling you, I have been talking to my husband about if I could be Rip Van Winkle or go to sleep. I'm not. I'd make a lousy, rotten drug addict. So I would love to be able to get a phony high from like Tuesday to Thursday of, election day and just sleep through it all.
Yeah.
Just tell me what happened afterwards because my gut probably can't take it. I just don't want to have to, be led around by the nose. Oh, he's winning, he's losing, he's winning, he's losing.
Yeah.
None of that. It's all, and it's the same way with these dog and pony shows. They want to pretend they're doing something in these hearings. It's all pretend, all of it.
No, well, now we're talking about the federal, the Congress and the senators, but now Glenn Youngkin, he is really trying to get these 1,200 votes, these 1,200 illegal aliens to not vote. And the appellate court, they said, no, you have to release them and let them vote. And he's taken it to a higher court now. So he is fighting, and this is what needs to happen. And I'm pretty encouraged. Karen, by the leader of the RNC now, because they are really, really focusing on more so than ever before on getting lawyers standing right there next to these people when they're going to be doing it. Especially, I think they're focusing on mainly the swing states, but you get the idea. Yeah,
they have to. This, as we said, is the giant elephant in the living room.
Hey, I'm right here.
You ain't no elephant.
I'm pretty close.
But they are wonderful.
Yeah.
I love elephants.
Oh, thanks. We had this conversation last week.
I know. It's that's what is on everyone's mind. I don't think anybody who has the curse of awareness, and many more people do, are not thinking, if it was even remotely fair, he wins in a landslide. But it hasn't been remotely fair. And now people are having the guts to say so. Did you see Tucker Carlson last night?
Yes.
He has a gift. I don't always agree with him on everything. He has a gift of boiling down to the essence of an issue in 5 minutes or less.
Yep.
It was brilliant. I encourage everyone. And send it to your dumbass relatives. That's another curse word.
You've gone over the limit now.
Karen,
don't you cuss on this here radio.
Don't you cuss.
Go ahead. So gullible.
Yep.
And too gullible to admit they're gullible. People who would, sell the rope of a hangman to hang themselves with. That's how gullible they are.
They really are.
Yeah, and I have a wing of my family members that I dearly love, but man, come on, people.
Yeah,
they just hate him. And I try to say, okay, go ahead. You hate him. That's great. Go ahead and hate him. But do you like money? Do you like low inflation? Do you like closed borders? See, that's the kind of stuff I get into. And they go, oh, you're just so being stupid now.
They're so wild-eyed and emotional. I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it.
I know, but
damn it.
Another curse word. God,
I'm sorry.
Just wash your mouth out with soap.
I never do this.
It's okay. It's okay.
But when I get mad, I get verbal. I mean, I don't hit anybody.
That's good.
I just get verbal.
Well, did you guys hear about?
And plus, I live with a truck driver, so
well, you're doing just what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are trying to do to act like Trump. Tim Walz is saying the S word all the time now, And then Kamala Harris was sitting at the bar with Gretchen Whitmer, and they were drinking a beer, and she said the S word. It was like, "Oh, you're so tough."
Yeah, but it's so vile, and the media can say how vile it is. It's insane. It's insane.
All right, we didn't plan this in advance, but that's the curse of working with me. Good evening, Madam Vice President. My name is Fred. I'm your bartender. Can you tell me what you mean by turn the page? What exactly are you talking about?
Oh, Fred, it's so simple. It's really simple. You just turn the page.
But your page isn't
Fred,
your page.
It's the page. It's the page. What do you want? What do you want me to say, hey, Fred?
Sorry.
Just turn the page.
I'm so sorry.
Turn the page.
Madam Vice President, you're flagged. Get out of the bar. It's one of my favorite things.
Good.
My
now, have you
favorite
got the cackle, Ken? Have you got that?
No, because she can't cackle when she's drunk.
Yeah, and I practiced it, and I'm just too low voice.
That's
for
okay.
it.
All right, so
And
listen.
it's the whine and the cackle together.
Oh, it has to
Either
be.
not just the WHINE, but the
Yeah.
WINE.
Ah, very good.
yeah,
I see what you
yeah.
did there. Yeah, very nicely done. So listen, even when Charlemagne the God
Mhm.
says that Democrats are lying about Trump's threat to democracy, I hope he's saying that on his little breakfast show, whatever it's called, Breakfast Club show, and talking to the black audience and letting them know that Kamala's not going to help you if you're black. Trust me on that one.
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to play an audio. That's why I was quiet.
No, I'm just not good at this job.
That's
Just
Would you stop?
You and Karen, you and Kenny
Stop
can
with the Jewish guilt,
Okay,
all right?
come on, I'm trying to be like you. What I have Jewish guilt? What are you saying? I'm good enough to do this job?
Because
I
he's a
gotta
mensch.
tell you. Oh.
No, go ahead.
What was that? I can't. We probably don't have time to read it, but I just posted something on Twitter about what do you do if there's a fly in your coffee? You gotta read it.
I'm gonna go
It's
right now.
very funny.
Give me a sec.
When a fly falls into a cup of coffee, it's a little bit long, but not
How
too
long?
terribly. I don't know.
Oh, it's a video?
It's like, no, you could just read it. I'm
Oh.
looking at it. It's too long to post on Twitter, so if you click on it, it's
I'm
like a
clicking.
paragraph.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's not that bad. Ready? Here we go.
not that bad.
If a fly jumps into your cup of coffee, the Italian throws the cup, breaks it, walks away in a fit of rage. That's absolutely correct. The German carefully washes the cup, sterilizes it, and makes a new cup of coffee. The Frenchman takes out the fly and drinks the coffee. The Chinese eat the fly and throw away the coffee. The Russian drinks the coffee with the fly since it was extra with no charge. The Israeli sells the coffee to the Frenchman, sells the fly to the Chinese, sells the cup to the Italian, drinks a cup of tea, and uses the extra money to invent a device that prevents flies from falling into coffee. The Palestinian blames the Israeli for the fly falling into his coffee, protests the act of aggression to the UN, takes a loan from the European Union to buy a new cup of coffee, uses the money to purchase explosives, and then blows up the coffee house where the Italian, the Frenchman, the Chinese, the German, and the Russian are all trying to explain to the Israeli that he should give away his cup of tea to the Palestinian.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
As good. You read it beautifully.
Well, thank you. I'll stay
Yes, you
then.
did.
And of course, it leads me to the old joke, one of the oldest jokes in the room, when the guy gets a cup of soup and the guy who has the soup notices there's a fly in the soup, and he says to the waiter, "What's this fly doing in my soup?" And the waiter says, "The backstroke."
Bada bing.
Bada bang. All right.
Bada boom.
Karen, you're another one that we'll talk to one day before Election Day.
I'm glad it's not after. I'll be a basket case either way.
Me too. But you know what? Me too. So we'll
Okay.
talk Thursday. We'll talk Monday. Love you to death. Mwah, mwah,
You
mwah.
got it. All right. Bye.
Bye, Karen.
She is good. You know what, Ken? I think she's so good. Maybe if she's up to it during that Christmas week, maybe she can come do the show.
That'd be awesome. I mean, if she could at least like remotely do the show.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
I do it when it snows.
You do.
What's that supposed to mean?
You just do.
Whatever, man. I mean, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay. So, you know what? The Family Arena is packing in the good concerts, Ken.
Yeah.
And they got another great one coming up on Saturday, March 1st. It's the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, the final tour. This is it. And if you want to hear Jackie Blue live, this is your last chance. They'll be at the Family Arena Saturday, March 1st with Molly Hatchet and the Georgia Satellites. Tickets are on sale now at the box office and at familyarena.com. All right, Kenny, we owe our listeners a look into the chat box. They are on fire and funny today, big time.
Got to do it.
So we'll do that next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. This is the real Kamala Harris.
So there will eventually not be a need for private insurance because there will be full coverage in terms of most of the services that folks need in terms of access to health care.
The insurance industry is a major employer here in Iowa.
Yeah.
What do you say to those people who's might be looking at your plan and saying, this is going to force me into retirement?
When we talk about transitioning into a new system, there's going to have to be a period of transition. So it would not happen overnight. And there would be an ability then to transition employees into other areas.
The real Kamala Harris on the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL. News Talk STL.
First thing in the morning and pretty much all day.
Live and local. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there's a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
Getting new flooring can be exciting, or it can be a hassle. To make sure you have a great experience, use Michael's Flooring, like I did. Hi, it's Susie Moore, and Michael's Flooring has become my go-to for quality, variety, and an all-around great experience. They've been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, natural stone, luxury vinyl, it doesn't matter. Michael's Flooring is ready to help. 3 locations to pick from: St. Peter's, Darting Prairie, and Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloor.com. That's igotfloor.com.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
America Decides 2024.
Harry J's Steakhouse in Moscow Mills brings you Election Night 2024. You have to get out and vote. Election results, analysis, and opinion from the local conservative voices you know and trust.
Republicans, Democrats,
Independents. Coverage begins Tuesday, November 5th at 7 p.m. with St. Louis's true conservative voice. Right here. News Talk STL. Brought to you by Piccadilly Palace and Patriot Powder Coating and Iron Bear Customs.
Hi, I'm Rodney Wallner.
And I'm Jen Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Jen, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission plan?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What's the best time to sell your home?
Right now, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
On the next
Larry Connors USA.
There is not a single survey that says Harris can win, but do not take it for granted that Trump will. Make sure you vote.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
On News Talk STL.
You know that we played earlier today. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Clearly, nobody on the Democrat side of politics has ever heard that phrase before.
No.
That's why you cozy up to Putin. That's why you cozy up to Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un.
We have said this since you and I have been together, and it's been like that for a long time, where people will say, well, he just wants to try. He's good old buddies with Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. What about Tim Walz going into China for 30 years?
Trust me, it's not for the same reason.
It's not. And that's my point, Vic. Trump's doing it to keep them closer so he can make sure that they understand where he is. But Tim Walz is going over to get benefits.
You keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay. Ken, can we check the chat box?
Yes.
Let's do
Let
it.
me get over here
Chat box, music, maestro. Scott says, Ken, did you vote last Friday?
No, actually, I was going to, but I had to work here late. So today I am.
Our favorite Navy chief says, good morning, gents and fellow Vic heads. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And to all our first responders out there, happy First Responders Day. Today, First Responders Day?
Oh, I didn't know that.
My God. And by the way, we missed Navy Day was either Friday or Saturday. So Navy Chief, thank you so much, Scotty. We appreciate it. Did you guys see the video that Trump put out with the Holocaust survivor endorsing him? Strong stuff. I think that's what we played a little while ago. Good morning, Monday Freedom Fighters. Ray says, yep, never mind. I guess you did because we played it. Amy says, good morning, Freedom Fighting Vickheads, GMFFDH. Always love it when Karen's on. Bank your vote for President Trump. And Amy also says, amen, Karen. All right, now the mess that we call the Rumble chat box. Ed Stoit, no show. All right, we had a little technical problems, okay? Get off our back. We got it. Don't forget that Godzilla laid her eggs at Madison Square Garden. Is that true? I didn't even know Godzilla was a girl.
I didn't either. I always thought Godzilla was a guy, but in this day and age, the guy probably could lay eggs. I don't know.
Ken's a lab, everybody. Ed Stewart says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair elections.
No peace.
There was also already widespread fraud in Pennsylvania.
No peace.
No peace. New York rally was great last night at Madison Square Garden. Boy, it sure was. My opinion, most of the country is conservative, Republican. They rise up and vote the right person in, like in the past in New York City and state, even governors of Illinois. The issue is that they got, I don't know what this last word is. No problem. I'm sorry. The problem is the leftist indoctrinators have been brainwashing school kids since at least 1980 that our constitutional republic is a democracy. I graduated high school long before 1980. Yeah, me too. I recall a class called Americanism versus Communism that didn't paint, to me, a favorable light on leftism. Never does. And indoctrination is still a problem, by the way.
Oops, sorry.
I can't talk without it.
I know. Hold on.
I don't like early voting. Still think it's ripe for cheating. Presidential elections should be a national holiday. Agree on that. Yeah. Well, hold on a second. Pennsylvania, there was somebody doing a press conference saying we found all these evidence of fraud. Is that not widespread? When is it widespread? When do we shut it down and say start again?
When the kings of the media decide that it's widespread. When they announce that it's widespread, that's when it's widespread.
Yep. Now educators openly endorse leftist ideologies and extremist terrorist ideologies as well. And then, I don't know what that is there. Susan Rice can bite me.
Great.
And so can everybody who believes her. She's a dirtbag, and Ken is absolutely correct about the Klan coming from the Democrat Party, who incidentally promoted slavery. I agree with Ken, Susan Rice. So you and Karen just do the show. Okay, everybody's agreeing with you, and Karen's great. I'll just go home. I agree with Ken. Susan Rice is dangerous. In my opinion, she acts as a liaison for the globalists. No doubt.
Absolutely agree with that.
CBS, NBC, ABC all need to lose their free licenses to broadcast. They're violated all the time. Ken, we'll get into this later in the week, okay?
Yeah.
We don't have time right now. But Ken has a great story about venture capitalist David Sachs, who's calling out the mainstream media and says major networks should lose their free public licenses. And you do have to follow rules. We have to follow rules.
Yeah,
here.
they get those licenses free under the understanding that they are doing a service to the general public.
Right. And if they abuse that, something needs to be done.
But Vic, you talk about this all the time. What can we do to get this media to get in line and be even tempered and say fair things? Well, I think this could be one of those little loopholes.
And just to be clear, we talk about how we can do it and not trample on the First Amendment.
And that's why. Yeah.
My hope is that the mainstream media rhetoric will make middle of the road Dems stay at home this election. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
Leftists call Trump a Nazi. He spelled it Nazi, Notse. Jews call him a mensch. Challenge any left-leaner to prove the Jews wrong. I'll say it again. Yesterday was the worst Nazi rally ever. Israeli flags all over the garden. Jews for Trump outside. 75,000 people outside the garden.
Because he's a mensch.
He's a mensch. And mensch is a person of integrity and honor, just so you know. The most horrible haunted house America has ever seen for Halloween would be a house of mirrors with nothing but pictures and videos of Harris stirring a boiling cauldron of hatred and stupidity.
Some of the memes I see of her that people have made of her as Satan and all that, they're scary.
Yeah.
She has this natural mean look about her.
And not now, but when we're done with the chat box and we have time before we got a break, maybe we can hear Kamala in her witchiest form.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
sure.
LOL, Vic. Sorry, Vic Bragger. Ed's called me a bragger because of all the concerts I've seen at Madison Square Garden. What am I supposed to do?
No.
I live right there.
No, it's bragging when you set it up as that being the main part of the story. You were just bringing it up, saying, "Hey, by the way, I saw this."
And what a historic place it is.
Exactly.
It's the most famous arena in the United States.
No, we know people who in this business who are braggers.
Right.
We know these.
Sure do. And
it's obvious.
If you've noticed, Madison Square Garden has always been Madison Square Garden, not Pepsi Garden or Coke Garden or anything like that, right?
Right.
Madison Square Garden, because it used to be at Madison Square. Vic, somewhere I have the album Wings at the Speed of Sound album, I think, recorded at Madison Square Garden. Yes. I think some of it, not all the songs, but some of the songs were recorded at Madison Square Garden. I'd be jealous of him, Ed, but my first concert ever was Pink Floyd at Tampa Stadium with 60,000 other people. That's before Roger Waters fell into the deep end of the stupid pool.
Is that bragging?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he's trying to outdo me. He's trying to. Oh, well, I saw Roger Waters.
Oh,
I saw Pink Floyd.
okay. One up you. I got that.
Happy Monday, Vic Heads. This is the week for Smoking for Veterans Barbecue Bash. Ken at Clancy's Irish Pub in Ellisville this Saturday, November 2nd. Are we going to get him on?
I hope so.
Vote now or next Tuesday for mass firings in D.C. Boy, I'll tell you what. Watch Joe Rogan's interview with Trump on YouTube. Most comments were from people from other countries giving well wishes to Trump. How about that? Did you see Japan's little
that was
parade?
Awesome. Yeah.
With a big inflatable Trump?
Yep. And it wasn't a stupid baby looking thing.
And they're smarter than some of the people in this country. Let's see. We're all pissed, Karen. Yes, we are. Hillary is evil. Yes, she is. Conservatives are innately non-confrontational, and Dems use that to their benefit. I have plenty of adjectives, Karen. Karen was just completely on fire this morning, which is why we love her, and that's that. Okay, Ken.
Yeah, Vic.
Before we break, can you play for us Kamala Harris as the Wicked Witch of the West? Can you do that?
Yeah, I think I can.
Let's do that, because she is the Wicked Witch of the West. Oh, my God. She's the Wicked Witch of the West. She's from California, the West.
Just picture the Wicked Witch of the West.
But
and
the
this
California
is
in the West.
Yes.
Wicked Witch of the West.
What makes the hot pot so hot?
No, not that one.
That's a good one.
What have they got that I ain't got?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
You could say that again.
On NewstalkSTL.
I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours, only maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. all because of the swipe of my pen, the power.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
She loves it.
She is the witch of the West. All right. I don't like polls, Ken, but I do like Douglas Blair.
Oh, yeah.
Who works for Harris Polling. He's always pretty honest with us. And we'll get caught up on all the latest polling with Doug Blair from Harris X Polling next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
So I say this gently. The Biden administration sucks.
Correct! The Vic Porcelli Show.
Can you play 14 too before we do this? That's another. Yeah. Because, you know, the Biden administration sucks is true. But John Kennedy is so great with words.
She won't be pinned down. I think in some cases she's lying. People are worried that if she walked by a polygraph machine, the dang thing would explode.
That's what we need.
And
John Kennedy. Yeah. Right now, though, I want to talk to you about Chris Cooper from Serenity Wealth Management. Hey, every Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, Chris Cooper's on the air, okay? There's only so much we can talk about in 60 seconds with him during these. And even when he comes in, time seems to just go by so quickly. So you get a whole hour of Chris Cooper every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock with the Serenity Wealth Now show from his fancy little studio up there in his office in Lake St. Louis. Chris is concerned about where your money is going to go when you're not here anymore, right? And you can't do the, arcane maroon, write it with disappearing, reappearing ink. Can't do that. So go through all the proper steps and make sure you don't leave your money to the government. Who would want that? That's through taxes. The medical or care community, God love them, but they're expensive. You want to leave your savings, whatever you want to leave to your kids or the charity of your choice. Think of them first. So get Chris's new book. It's called The New Holistic Retirement, and it's available for free at SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity Now!
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the News Talk STL app.
Love the News Talk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Taxpayers, it's time to take a stand. Meet Robert Krupp, a Navy veteran and your Republican candidate for State Senate District 1. When it comes to lower taxes, Krupp's not budging an inch. No new tax increases, no nickel and diming working families. Krupp's a man of action standing up to the tax man, unwavering like a red, white, and blue flag flying high in the wind. This November, vote Robert Crump, a strong fighter for lower taxes. Robert Crump.
Paid for by Crump for State Senate 2024. Chris Clark, Treasurer.
I've got a way for you to really dress up your home, and only one guy I'd trust to do it. Michael Proctor, like doctor. Michael will personally examine which drapes, blinds, or shutters will complement your home. He doesn't just measure, he designs, and to make sure it's done right, he will install them. All this saves you money on custom-made drapes, shades, and shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. ProctorDrapery.com.
No! Is your computer giving you headaches? Make it happy again with Jeff Computers. For 30 years, this locally and family-owned business has been the St. Louis area's trusted one-stop shop for cybersecurity, managed IT, and data recovery services. Choose the experts at Jeff Computers. They offer computer protection plans and can recover your lost or damaged data. Visit them in Ellisville or call 636-256-7901. Online at jeffcomputers.com. And tell them Newstalk STL sent you.
Fox News commentary.
The Obamas might deliver Kamala's deplorables moment on her behalf. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Kamala is hemorrhaging support from men of all races. So what did her team do to address that major problem? Well, they sent in Michelle Obama to dump on and insult every member of that group. At a Michigan rally, the former First Lady ripped into men and shamed them for their hesitation to vote for Kamala. She even implied that if men don't vote for Kamala, women will be collateral damage to their rage. Michelle is not only scolding and shaming members, or maybe now former members of her own party, she expects them to put their own self-interest and the interests of the country aside and demands they do as she, a multi-millionaire, yacht-chartering, self-congratulating member of the global elite club, says to do, or else. You know, folks, this could be Kamala Harris's deplorables moment, courtesy of Michelle Obama. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
This hour of the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
As President Lincoln said,
what, do you have a cough due to cold?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
And good morning and welcome to it. 1019-94.1 News Talk STL. The sample ballot is up on our website. Go in informed, okay? Read all of the amendments. Look at all the judges. Before you do that, you should go to our website because we've got a great portion of the website which is dedicated to the judges on the ballot, and that was done by somebody who listens to us. So they're clearly good. Madison Square Garden rally yesterday. I just want to say a couple of things I didn't get a chance to say during the morning. Madison Square Garden is the most famous arena, stadium, whatever you want to call it, I'll say in the world. Okay. Madison Square Garden, by the way, has been in different locations throughout the years. Well, actually, it was at Madison Square. And it's moved locations. Where that Nazi rally was in 1939 was not where it is now. I just wanted to say that. And it was the worst Nazi rally ever. Okay. Israeli flags all over the place.
Yeah, you had people outside.
Jews for Trump.
Jump. It was great to see because there's a big group of people in the middle of the road, and they had MAGA hats on, and somebody I saw had a MAGA Trump yarmulke.
No way.
Yeah, it had Trump, Trump on it. And then they were jumping up and down, and they had the flags, the Israeli flags going.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
all right. So cool. We're ready to go here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
This just in. For the latest news from the DC swamp and beyond, this is the Vic Porcelli Show East Coast Report with Douglas Blair on News Talk STL.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doug Blair. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great, Vic. How you doing?
Doing good. You guys must be like accountants leading up to April 15th, right? Tax day.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing going on. There's
nah.
Show around here.
So do you have numbers that quickly on what that rally did yesterday to the numbers at all? Or is it too early?
We do not. We are still working on getting some polling data regarding that. However, our most recent poll that we've released out to the public with Forbes shows Trump up by 2 points nationally, which I think is kind of indicative of where this race is going. If we look at the potpourri of polls that are out right now, they're all basically showing the momentum switching back Trump. He's up in most swing states within margin of error, but still on that trajectory. Harris obviously is sort of realizing that her momentum is stalled. She's switching campaign strategies, it seems like, every other day. This seems like right now it's Trump's race to lose.
You know what? If you look at this race, right? Not you don't count because you study numbers like crazy. Ken, you don't count because you look and research, and I don't count because I look and research. But to somebody who is just, I don't know how you word it, somebody who's just not that up on everything.
Not tuned in.
Yeah, not tuned in. They look at these two candidates and they say, really? Who would vote for Kamala Harris? And here's an American who wants to know, where the Trump is a racist from the Democrats come from.
Hey, listen, y'all want to know something I'm really tired of? I'm really tired of people saying Trump racist without no proof. I'm tired of it. Because my thing is how Trump wasn't racist before he ran for president. Everybody loved him. But now all of a sudden he become president and he's so racist. Where did racism come from? The man had a black girlfriend for 3 years. This man had a public black girlfriend, a public relationship with a black girl. That don't mean that don't scream racism. When Nelson Mandela was freed from prison in 1994 and wanted to come to America, the government wouldn't pay for it. So guess who chartered their own private jet? Trump. Guess who helped fund the Black Panther Party? According to David Tillman, which is the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, Trump helped fund that. So if he was so racist, why would he be dealing with these? Or why would he deal with Nelson Mandela? Why would he deal with the Black Panther Party? Why would he have a black girlfriend in public if he was so racist? Where did the racism come from? Because I remember growing up, everybody black loved Trump. Everybody loved Trump. Now all of a sudden he racist and nobody can stand him.
You got any answers for that guy?
And people are asking that question now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something that I wrote about for the broadcast. This is the Democratic playbook, that they basically will accuse their opposition, regardless of who that person is, of racism, bigotry, being a Nazi. I did some research. Obviously, people who are old enough to remember the Bush election, it was Bush and Dick Cheney or Hitler, and they're fascists and they want to kill black people. There was the very famous Kanye West clip where, following Hurricane Katrina, Kanye goes on TV and he says, "Oh, well, George Bush doesn't care about black people." Then they tried it again with John McCain, where he was, the next coming of fascism, this very milquetoast Republican. And of course, I think a lot of people's black pill, red pill moment where they basically said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. As long as you have an R next to your name, you will be called a Nazi," was Mitt Romney, who was about as even-keeled, very non-threatening, non-hostile as you can get. And our current president, or the corpse pretending to be president right now, infamously said, if you elect Mitt Romney, he's going to put y'all back in chains. This is the strategy that they have when they have no other way to attack their opposition. They can't do it on policy, right? Because the policy coming from the Biden administration and the Harris camp has been horrible. It's obviously been terrible for the country. So what do? You go back into that old playbook and you say, well, they're a racist, they're a Nazi. And I think as that American, that very intelligent American there is recognizing, it doesn't make sense, right? Obviously, Trump has a really long history with great race relations. He's photographed with Rosa Parks. He had won various civil rights awards. It's all nonsense.
All right, so let's dig in. And let's start right there. The black vote, men and women. What are the numbers?
I think that what we're going to see basically is some coalescing around gender and sex, which is what I've sort of been talking about for the last couple of months. And it really is coming home to roost. Black men are still overwhelmingly Democratic, but those numbers shift every single day more towards Trump. I mean, it's now something like 25 to 30%, which is unheard of.
With that, I think, honestly, that men see these white men for Trump people, and they actually see the men that are supporting it and promoting it. And they're like, no, I'm not going to go there. That's kind of a weird group of guys.
Ken, to your point, I think that is absolutely what is going on here. There was a hot mic moment that I'm sure you guys watched where Kamala and Gretchen Whitmer were talking about how they have to shift the ground game with men. They realize that they are losing this demographic. And it doesn't matter. Again, it wasn't, we're losing black men, we're losing Hispanic men, we're losing white men. We're losing men, period.
Yeah.
And there is that sense that regardless of race, regardless of religion, ethnicity, whatever, you look at what the masculine image that the Democrats put forward, Doug Emhoff and Tim Walz, that's not a good image that you're going to put forward. I would never tell my son, you should be like these people. I would say to my son, you should be like a Republican man, like an actual man.
A beta male. That's the new male.
Right.
The new masculinity.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Hispanics. This guy that told a joke at the rally was so stupid. You think that'll affect anything?
No, because I think, again, the demographic group that was going to be offended by that joke was already going to be voting for Harris. I think that one of the things that people are talking about is, there are certain Puerto Rican celebrities that have now come out and said they're endorsing Harris. But I mean, again, the celebrity part of that is more important. Right. So this Bad Bunny, like all of these sort of Puerto Rican rappers, they've all said, oh, yeah, we're backing Harris now. And it's like, well, you weren't going to back Donald Trump.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, you're like part of the Hollywood elite. Like, this is not going to be a surprising endorsement, but they're going to try and frame it as if I was on the fence and I wasn't sure, and then this guy told this stupid joke at the rally, and therefore now I'm supporting Harris. Like, that's nonsense.
Okay, good. How about suburban women?
Moving very, very strongly towards Harris. Again, as we're starting to note, this is an electorate that is increasingly becoming separated by sex. So if you're a woman, suburban-like especially, abortion tends to be your top issue, is what we're finding.
Okay.
Therefore, they trust the Democratic Party on this more than Republicans.
Now, Doug, historically, that was like the rule. Suburban women, if they were threatened with crime, with crime and safety, they immediately went to the law enforcement type of president, and now it's not like that at all.
No, I mean, again, this is the first election that we're seeing where abortion is becoming more important to women specifically than any other topics. I mean, again, it's more important than the economy, it's more important than immigration, and of course, as you were mentioning, it's more important than crime and safety. It's for whatever reason, the Democratic, liberal, leftist mission to make abortion the issue for women has been incredibly successful. For whatever reason, I don't quite understand why. I would love one of these women to explain this to me, but this is their issue. And if that is their thing, then they flock to the Democratic Party.
I can't believe anybody would make abortion the only thing that matters on who they're going to vote for, with so many other problems.
Yeah. I'll be dead, but
if somebody,
hell, let's have abortion.
If somebody votes just on the abortion issue, and then an illegal alien crosses the border, member of a gang, and kills that lady's daughter, are they still going to think that same way?
No, but they got abortion.
Well,
they got the abortion.
Well, look, I mean, and I've been talking with people here in the district, specifically liberal women, that I'm sort of like, what is this thing? Why is this so important to you? And they say, well, people in Texas, people in Florida, people in Ohio can't get abortions. So like, but you're not in Texas, Ohio, and Florida. You're in Washington, D.C. There is literally zero risk of that becoming illegal here. Why does this matter so much to you? And they just can't give me an answer. I don't know what I literally just think it is decades worth of propaganda and programming from liberal elites that say things like abortion is the end all be all issue. If you do not have quote unquote bodily autonomy, you are not truly free. This is how Kamala Harris has been framing this issue, where it's an issue of freedom, right? Like, we're not really free unless we have the ability to abort children. And I guess after 30, 40, 50 years of just nonstop drumming into the heads of women that if you don't have this access to abortion, you are not truly a first-class citizen, I think we have a lot of room to push back, and we need to do that if we ever want to get women back as a demographic.
But are any of them parsing it? Like, for example, I have family members who are voting Trump all the way and down ballot, but they're not voting. They're voting yes for 3. I mean,
yeah, I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the language coming from the Trump camp specifically has become a lot softer on this topic. While a lot of Republicans, myself included, are obviously in favor of outlawing abortion in every shape or form, I think that he basically recognizes that if he doesn't put this on the back burner, if he doesn't say there are larger issues facing the country right now than abortion, he's going to lose. Because I think that there are certain women that are, like you're saying, oh, I'm not a huge fan of Republican position on abortion. I'm not a huge fan of that. But there are so many other topics that are more important. So I'm going to see if there's an abortion topic that I can vote yes on, that I can keep abortion available in my state. But otherwise, I will vote in other places. In certain places, it doesn't matter, right? If it's in a blue state, it does not matter at all. These are people that are going to basically say, whatever, abortion's the most important topic. But I think that there's certain purple voters that might be a little bit more inclined to move in that direction.
All right, Doug Blair from Harris X Polling, Harris_X, another underscore. I don't know. Doug, thanks so much. So next week will be the day before the election, so thanks so much. All right, we need to.
All right, see you then.
See you.
See you, Doug.
I guess we'll have to say it for tomorrow. Thanks so much for having the record player on this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Tony Colombo here for Zero Res, the cleaning pros we trust with our home, and the team bringing you a great offer for the month of October. Book a cleaning this month and mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $75 off an air duct cleaning. Don't let the germs hiding in your home haunt your family. Call Zero Res now and take advantage of this scary good deal. Just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Newstalk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio 3 times every week yet on Newstalk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You know, when you're car shopping, it should be fun, not a chore. That's why when you visit Ackerman Toyota on Hampton, just south of 44, you'll enjoy the largest customer lounge to make you feel at home. You can always check AckermanToyota.com, but come enjoy the Ackerman hospitality. We'll be waiting to help you get what you want, and while you're relaxing. Ackerman Toyota, #1 in 2023. Ackerman Toyota, for life.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is Newstalk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Michigan is one of the key up for grabs battleground states this election year. It went for Donald Trump in 2016, Joe Biden in 2020, and this year seems to be a toss-up.
We are truly a 50-50 state.
That is political science professor Jenna Bednar at the University of Michigan.
And it's 50-50 in terms of Democrats and Republicans, but then even within those two parties, they're totally fragmented.
Donald Trump continues urging his supporters to fight.
As the campaign winds down, Trump has been winding up his rhetoric toward those he views as a threat.
They've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within, but this is who we're fighting.
That was the former president at his Madison Square Garden rally. In recent days, Trump has described some members of Congress, including former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, as the enemy within, and said they are worse than America's foreign adversaries. Greg Clugston, New York.
Meanwhile, with suspicions high there could be election irregularities, some observers think the final results of next week's voting could come down to the lawyers.
Democrats are bracing for former President Donald Trump's campaign and allies to initiate legal battles over the 2024 election results if he loses, actions Republicans took following the 2020 election. More than 400 lawyers have been hired to draft legal memos in preparation for possible litigation, according to the Wall Street Journal, with thousands of pages already filed. About 10,000 lawyers are also at the ready in crucial swing states with more specific knowledge of each state's rules. So far, Republicans have been involved in 130 lawsuits in 26 states centered on election integrity issues to ensure that voter rolls are accurate. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
It is a booming session so far on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up by just about 230 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? but diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. It's going to be warmer with a high of 78. Decreasing clouds tonight will drop to 67. For Tuesday, sunny and warm with a high of 85. The record high for the day is 86. It's going to be breezy as well with wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. We'll see a near repeat for Wednesday, mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 83. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-aged children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer. Craving farm fresh goodness since 1997? Anthony's Produce is your one-stop autumn wonderland. We're talking pumpkins bigger than your head. Mums so hearty they'll outlast your mother-in-law's visit. And straw bales perfect for decorating. Need firewood? They'll deliver enough to keep you toasty till the cows come home. Plus, fruit and veggie trays so fresh, they'll make your taste buds do a happy dance. Anthony's Produce in the heart of St. Peter's. Check him out at anthonysproduce.com and tell him News Talk STL sent you.
With the average funeral bill over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Speak with Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Contact Benjamin at memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial. Everlasting protection.
Chris Arps here, and after Becky and I leave church on Sunday, we head down the street to Capriotti's to grab a classic meatball sub. And of course, for dessert, I get a giant chocolate chip cookie. I love Capriotti's, and you will too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
What happens next?
Iran calls Israel's strike over the weekend unlawful.
Happens right here.
That you cannot send 200 ballistic missiles into Israel and expect us not to react.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Thoughts is glorious. Someone just messaged me. The guy, Joseph S. Listening on KFOR 1240. Says, voting in 20 minutes. I have 15 coworkers meeting me at the polls. Or just keep doing it. Bring it. Get out of the house and vote. You know, you missed it this morning on the podcast, right? The Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, give me more every day in droves. In packs. I don't know what are the various words in the animal kingdom for collective groups of organisms. just swarms. Just do it. No, not Nike style. Nike One Woke. Go out and do it. You are messing up their entire plan by voting early. Folks, the Florida numbers, the Nevada numbers, the Arizona numbers are crazy. The Pennsylvania numbers, they don't know what to do. You are creating a mathematical problem for them they can't solve. Think about it. This is why I keep telling you more. Get out and vote now. If you can, bring 10 people. Joseph just said he's meeting 15. 10 is the minimum. 10 is the minimum. I feel something special happening. I'm telling you, I feel it. I called it in 2016. I was very nervous about 2020 for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of bad juju going on. You know, the energy was bad, but like the feng shui or something. Like there was some bad energy out there. I felt it. It was no good. It was really bad stuff. I just knew it in 2020. Something was off, right? I could kind of like sniff it. I feel something different now. The numbers are insane. The numbers are crazy. You're creating a math problem. Think about it. If let's say, just use like throw some round numbers out there. If Trump is up 100,000 votes on election day, I'm just trying to make this simple, and there are 20,000 outstanding votes, you can say all you want, count every vote. And yes, we obviously should. It is still a republic. But no, every vote doesn't matter because it's not going to change the election because of simple math. Simple math. You are creating an almost intractable math problem for them. So this weekend, it's not really a weekend update. So usually I play the weekend update liner, but it's not the case now. I'm out this weekend. Had a good time. Was out with my orthodontist friend and this surgeon friend of mine. Because always hang around with people smarter than you. The best thing you can do, as I've said often, Jim, is be the dumbest person in a group of people. Because if you are, you'll always leave smarter. If you're the smartest person in the group, you can only leave dumber. I'm sorry. It's just the way the law of averages work. Regression to the mean, you know? So make sure that you are the dumbest person. So I hang around with this surgeon and this orthodontist guy, and they're really smart. I'm out at the Stewart Sandbar this weekend, having way too good of a time. Way too. That's a story for another day. I don't have time for it now. Do you know how many people came up to me? It was crowded, but it wasn't as packed as it usually was because the weather was a little off. So many people came up to me. They were like, Dan, I brought 10 people. I brought 15 people. I voted early. Dan, my friend who never voted before is voting for Donald Trump. Dan, my friend who's never even registered to vote, just registered to vote for Donald Trump. Folks, I feel it, man. And it was so bad. I was, how do I say this? Indulging in some fermented beverages, if you want to say. One of them was clear and it resembled the tequila. I'm just saying it resembled it, right? I kept telling people it was liquid IV in there or whatever, but it was something a little different. But I'm sitting there and this guy comes up to me, tells me he's voting early. And I had my voting for the outlaw shirt on and I gave him my actual shirt. You know how they say, oh, I gave him the shirt off my back. No, I don't mean in a figurative sense. Okay. So I give him my actual shirt. I said, bro, you want this shirt? He's like, yeah, man. So I give him my shirt. I said, take it. Hey, I've been a little sweaty, but whatever. I don't think he really cared too much. So he took the shirt. He walked over in the water and everything like that. So I get in an Uber on the way back for obvious reasons. And the Uber driver's like, dude, you got a shirt? And I'm like, actually don't, man. I'm sorry. So I felt really bad. Luckily, we only were going like less than a half a mile down the block. So I gave him like a $200 tip. I just felt bad. I said, hey, man, I appreciate it. The guy was nice. But no, shirtless Dan Bongino at the thing. You believe it? That actually, what are you laughing at? That actually happened. Because I gave the guy my shirt.
This TMI moment is brought to you by
this is not TMI. This is important. The guy was so excited. This is not TMI. This is definitely MI. This is NI, needed information. This is needed. This guy was stoked. People are excited again. They feel like, it feels like we've been, tell me if I'm wrong here. It feels like at least large swaths of the country feel like they've been subjected to something political we haven't seen before for the last 3 3/4 years. If I'm analyzing this wrong, fire away in the Rumble chat here. I'll read some of your comments. It feels different, folks. This doesn't feel like the transition from, say, a Bill Clinton through a George W. It doesn't feel that way. Yeah, I guess as Republicans, we wanted to win, but, in the Gore race, obviously. But it doesn't feel that way. This feels transformative. Like we're going to go from this environment we're stuck in this republic, like I said, with this really bad energy, this bad mojo. I don't know what to call it. There's 1,000 words for it, right? To just this like almost like Optimus Prime transformer moment. We're going to like go from the tractor trailer to this big majestic robot thing. Like it's there. I feel like we're there. If we just execute. Because, folks, I feel like it's getting away from them. This is no excuse for you not to execute. None. You have got to go out and bring 10 people. Can we lose? Absolutely. Will we lose? If you don't do what I'm telling you, we will. But it feels different now. It feels like it's gone mainstream. Remember in 2016 when Donald Trump was first running, there were the quiet Trump voters. I'll give you the good and bad about this. The good and bad up front. The good is the quiet Trump voters are fewer now. The bad is the polls may be a little more accurate now because there isn't so much fear of telling people you support Donald Trump. But Jim, tell me if I'm wrong. Back in 2016, I think the polls were so off because a lot of people, Trump resonated with this cavalier cowboy style of politics, but their neighbors were like, ew, that's gross. Like the liberal Karens. Listen, I'm sorry, my name is Dan. The top, you ever see that meme? The top 10 names of it starts with a D and rhymes with sticks. And number one is Dan. So I get it. Like my name's Dan. But that's the thing. Like the liberal Karens, they were like, oh my gosh, you're voting for Trump? And I remember the neighborhood I lived in when he first started running, Severna Park, Maryland. People were like horrified. Oh my gosh, Donald Trump. But a lot of people went and voted for him. And then in 2020, you had the COVID thing going on. And I think that kind of polluted the whole election. You had the vax thing, kids being kicked out of school, people being locked up for going to church. You had the face diaper thing. Jim, is my analysis wrong? There were all these like polluting factors where you didn't necessarily have a fair fight. Now I think for the first time, we have an almost fair fight. You still got hacks in the mainstream media and all this other stuff. But it's gone mainstream now in that you can go out with this MAGA hat, even in liberal areas, and I promise you, you're going to get a lot of people like, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I've never seen anything like it. I'll give you an example. Thursday night football. 49ers played the Cowboys. The 49ers won, I guess, right? Because I didn't watch the whole game. I watched like 5 minutes of the beginning, and that was it. I went to sleep. But I saw at the end, I saw that Nick Bosa, who is I believe he's a defense, but I'm sorry, I don't get to see a lot of NFL stuff anymore for obvious reasons. But Nick Bosa, who's a very popular player, comes out at the end for the 49ers. I mean, they're from San Francisco, and he's got like a MAGA hat on. And then this weekend, the Texas Tech kicker, they fake a kick. He runs it into the end zone. He's got this Trump 2024 thing on. Folks, this is the kind of stuff you just didn't see in 2016, not at this scale. What I'm getting at is the energy is different. Like I said, I'm having the words you've heard. The mojo, whatever, like the feng shui or something. Like is it real? I don't know. We living in a simulation. I don't know. What do you call the je ne sais quoi? Who the hell knows what you call it? It's just different this time. It feels like it's gone mainstream. Now, if campaigns are snapshots and sound bites, which is what they are, make no mistake, they are pictures and sound bites, and that is it. Who do you want to be after this weekend? Jim, cue up for me, cut one. Do you want to be the guy who sold out Madison Square Garden as a Republican in a deep blue city, in a deep blue borough, in the middle of Manhattan, MSG, Madison Square Garden, who had one of the most popular, iconic figures in modern history, Hulk Hogan, a guy who, if you grew up in the 80s, right, Jim? If you didn't know Hulk Hogan, man, I'm starting to question whether you were alive at that time. I'm thinking you're making it up. You may be living in a simulation. You turned the power off. Here's Hulk Hogan in Madison Square Garden this weekend where he used to wrestle. Famous pro wrestler for the WWE about Donald Trump right before Donald Trump took the stage. Check this out.
Hey, Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother.
Do you want to be that in sold out Madison Square Garden? Or do you want to be Tampon Tim playing video games with AOC on Twitch? That's what happened. I mean, listen, we love gamers, man. You guys are awesome. You guys support Rumble. You're like one of the biggest crews on Rumble over there. Gamers are good guys, man. But if you were a gamer running for president, you're not playing your own game. You're out campaigning. This is the optic you want? Tampon Tim, he's sitting here with this lunatic in New York who cost New York a bunch of jobs, AOC, when she attacked businesses in the city. You're playing video games with her while Trump is in your backyard selling out Madison Square Garden with an overflow crowd that probably could have filled up the entire arena again? I never thought I'd see anything like this. You got Joe Biden out there iced out of the campaign. Kamala Harris can't get out of her own way. She debuted her 17th different accent this weekend. She couldn't answer a question. She keeps repeating the same lines over and over again. And then you got Trump out this weekend. Did you hear the roar of the crowd, by the way, when surprise guest Elon Musk showed up? Jim, cut two. This is Howard Lutnick. Full disclosure, I know Howard well from my investments at Rumble. Just so you know, I like Howard, very nice guy, but it's only fair you understand that. I know Howard for a while. Here's Howard Lutnick introducing Elon Musk. This is not AI-generated crowd applause. This is real. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the greatest capitalist in the history of the United States of America, Elon Musk.
You want to be that? You want to be at that rally, or do you want to be sitting in the bar with Kamala Harris and Gretchen Whitmer pretending to drink beer? Oh, you didn't see that? You didn't see that? What an embarrassing! Maybe I'll play the audio for you later. The video is even worse. Fake drinking beer. She pretends to drink it. There is no actual decrease in the amount of liquid beverage of beer in the cup after she places the cup near the lips. None. She doesn't actually drink it. She pretends to drink it. I was saying earlier how she should have done the Stone Cold, smacked two cans together and just guzzled that thing. You know what? It may have worked with a few people. She is the fakest, phoniest candidate we've ever seen running for president. And when you've got a contrast election between two people, if they're both fake and phony, which happens often, correct, Jim? In politics, you get a fake Republican, a fake Democrat. It's not unusual. Then usually you can get away with being a fraud because the other guy's a fraud too. But an election with a guy who's, some would argue his flaws, he's too authentic, Donald Trump, with another guy, J.D. Vance, will go on and talk to anybody anywhere, can think off the cuff, and you contrast it with this fake beer drinking loser. And, you know, the guy playing video games on the weekend with AOC while Trump's filling up Madison Square Garden. Folks, the contrast cannot be any worse. It's clear what team you want to be on right now. And it sure as hell ain't Kamala Harris. I have more on this coming up next. We'll be right back.
Bongino. Is there more to the world than meets our eyes? Another realm that transforms our world? In his newest New York Times and #1 bestseller, The Dragon's Prophecy, Israel, the Dark Resurrection, and the End of Days, Jonathan Cahn opens the mystery of the last days and what lies ahead. It will open your eyes, blow your mind, and change the way you see the world. The Dragon's Prophecy, Israel, the Dark Resurrection, and the End of Days. Available where books are sold.
Furnished by Charisma Publications.
I'm Anthony Imparato, president of Henry Repeating Arms. Patriotic Americans are looking to protect and provide for their families, now more than ever. Henry has over 200 rifles and shotguns to choose from, made in America or not made at all, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. Go to henryusa.com and order our free catalog, decals, and a list of dealers in your area. That's henryusa.com. Thank you, and God bless America.
Dan Bongino.
What happens next.
You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues.
Happens right here.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
The government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
America Decides 2024.
That he would weaponize the Department of Justice.
If she won the election, they'll go back to destroying our country.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting trained to fight for us, trained to solve problems, and that's just what he's been doing. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' sports and bathrooms. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. And his tough on crime stance has earned him the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. November 5th, vote Adam Schnelting for state senate, and he'll get the job done for St. Charles County.
Paid for by Schnelting for Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer. America Decides 2024.
Harry J's Steakhouse in Moscow Mills brings you Election Night 2024.
You have to get out and vote.
Election results, analysis, and opinion from the local conservative voices you know and trust.
Republicans, Democrats,
Independents.
Coverage begins Tuesday, November 5th at 7 p.m. with St. Louis's true conservative voice.
Right here.
News Talk STL. Brought to you by DG Firearms in Bowling Green and Senior Memorial Life.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
News, analysis, opinion.
I'm running for president.
I am running for president.
1019 and 94.1.
I'm voting for whoever can put the economy back on track.
Jobs and the economy are the most important issues in the coming election.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Individual results may vary. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. This is a well-timed message from American Bullion. So get ready to write down an important number or to put it into your phone. In these troubling economic times at home and the conflict around the world, protecting your portfolio and retirement are more important than ever. It's why so many Americans are choosing to add gold to their portfolios. Gold can reduce the overall volatility of your portfolio and help you create a safe, stable future for you and your loved ones. At American Bullion, we pioneered the seamless gold IRA process to add gold and other precious metals to your current IRA or old 401k. To learn more about adding gold to your retirement account, call the experts at American Bullion, where we say, peace of gold, peace of mind. Call 800-789-4399. That's 800-789-4399. 800-789-4399.
Turn it up to make sure your liberal neighbors finally hear some common sense. The Dan Bongino Show.
About to make an executive decision because there's a big weekend. I mean, it's, college football Monday, which it is every Monday. And man, it was so big for Auburn this weekend. I wanted to make an exception, but I guess we'll have to do it the next one. But War Eagle, man, what a great weekend. Auburn's football coming back. Football team did a great job. Congrats to Hugh Freeze and the crew over there for playing Kentucky hard. I think we got Vandy this week. I got to check that out. I got to look at the schedule. Folks, who would you rather be? These campaigns are contrasts. I can't say this enough. We live in a system that's binary. A lot of people wish it weren't binary. They wish there were an effective third party. There isn't right now. I'm sorry. They just don't have enough support to basically win an election, especially with the Electoral College the way it is. So in this binary system, these contrasts are critical. If it were 10 candidates running, it's very difficult to create a contrast with any one. It just is, especially if out of those 10 candidates, 4 or 5 are effective. I mean, you don't want to help one at the expense of another, and then you wind up losing to the person you help by attacking the other guy. You get what I'm saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. In a binary system, you don't have that issue. It is A versus B. B is going to hit A is going to hit B. The contrasts make the foil effect even more effective. You know, when you put a shiny object on, say, like a dark background, you want to give it some more luster, right? That's what's happening now. You've got this campaign where you've got this off-the-cuff, like I said, extemporaneous speaker who seems genuine and authentic, even if you don't always like what he has to say, in Donald Trump, who's got a VP who can do the same thing in J.D. Vance, versus this Kamala Harris tampon Tim team that is just so artificial and fake and phony, it makes them look even worse compared to the authentic, very genuine, even if you don't like it, Donald Trump. There's a psychology, a contrast behind that. And the good news is I'd rather be Donald Trump than Kamala Harris. The bad news is